Hey, this is meteorologist Bill Steffen. Kind of chilly out there. Quite a change from yesterday. Temperatures are going to be stuck in the low to mid 20s today. And the wind a little bit on the stiff side out there, but not nearly as windy as it was yesterday. Look at the wind gusts here. Downtown Chicago. Well, the Windy City certainly lived up to its name with a 61 mile an hour gust. That was at the water intake, which is just a couple miles to the east of downtown, out in the water there. Manistee is at the northern coast of Lake Michigan. They made it to 59 miles an hour. Holland at 54 miles an hour. That was at the regional airport. 51 in Grand Rapids at the Ford Airport. 50 miles an hour at Peak Gust in Battle Creek. 48 Kalamazoo. 47 at East Grand Rapids, where the weather station is on top of the press box, or at least that's where the camera is there. The weather station is at East Grand Rapids High School. Jackson also at 47 miles an hour. We had a 46 mile an hour gust to South Haven and 44 miles an hour at Muskegon. And like I said, the cold air has really settled in. We had a front that was off to the north of us, and this is really spectacular. This is a cold front that was right near Sault Ste. Marie. If you look on the left side, that's the Mackinac Bridge. These pictures were taken at roughly the same time. The temperature was 37. The wind was southwest at 20 miles an hour, gusting to 30. They were getting just a little bit of light rain, and there was good visibility. You can see all the way across to the Upper Peninsula there. That is a little bit over 5 miles away there, and you can see it pretty well. Look over to the right side there, and when you see just a gray map, that is because it was snowing so hard at Sault Ste. Marie. And like I've said before, I think somebody up in the Sioux has a snow magnet, because practically every storm we've had this winter has gone up there. They are 6.5 feet over their average snowfall to date. They're up over 175 inches now. But that's only a distance of 40 miles, and you can certainly see the difference there. In Sault Ste. Marie, the temperature at the same time was 20. That's a 17-degree difference. The wind, instead of being southwest, was out of the east at 12 miles an hour, and they were getting moderate to heavy snow with a quarter-mile visibility. That's about how far away you could see car headlights. So that's pretty strange, to have that kind of connection there. Well, let's just take a moment and thank our sponsor here, and we'll be right back.
Need a fast, efficient, and affordable cleaning service? Complete Care Concierge has you covered. Serving all of West Michigan, we offer one-time, daily, weekly, and bi-weekly cleans, plus move in, move out. We also service apartment hallways and laundry rooms. Our work is guaranteed, gift cards are available, and we even clean on weekends. There's no better way to say I love you than giving a tired mom a break from dishes and laundry. Are you a busy professional? Pamper yourself by taking vacuuming and dusting off your plate. Office manager, keep your business looking and feeling its very best. Call 616-264-1397 today for a spotless space and total peace of mind.
Well, that's a good idea, and thanks so much for coming aboard here with us as our first sponsor. A look at February weather, a little bit of a summary of what we had here. We were 2.3 degrees colder than average, and that followed January, which was 2.6 degrees colder than average. So this has certainly been a little bit cooler than average winter. We haven't had a lot of really, really cold below zero days, but a lot of days where temperatures were pretty much stuck in the 20s. Last year was a warm February, 8.8 degrees warmer than average. And if you combine the two, that means February of this year was 11 degrees colder than February of last year. So if your heating bill looks a little bit larger than a year ago, that's probably the reason. We only had 9 days out of 28 that were warmer than average. We had less than an inch of precipitation. We did not have a single day when we had a quarter of an inch precipitation. So we really didn't get any big storms here during February. We were only at 42% of average. January was also a dry month. We wound up with 10.1 inches of snow. Also, 10.1 miles per hour was the average wind speed. And we had 29% of possible sunshine. So it was yet another fairly cloudy month. Our headlines, dry and cold weather here for Sunday. That continues, but we should see some sunshine. An icy spot isn't impossible today, mainly in the lakeshore areas, but most of the main roads should be okay, especially inland in Grand Rapids and along 131 and east. Temperatures mid-20s today, low 30s tomorrow, but teens in the morning. And then low 40s here on Monday as we start to warm up once again. In the middle of the week, we're going to see some rain here. and it'll be too warm for snow. I would think that most all of that's going to be in the form of rain. Where it will snow today is right along the lakeshore, and not much. That second color blue there is generally about trace to an inch or so. So if you're in western Allegan County, Van Buren County, Oceana County, and up into Mason County, you may see the grass turn white today, a little bit of a dusting of snow there, but not much. There will be some heavier lake effect snow along the Lake Superior shoreline where you can see the yellow there. They're expecting yet another 6 inches of snow. And I think I put the mouse over Sault Ste. Marie, and I got, I think, an additional 3 to 4 inches of snow for them here during the day today. So it just keeps, the hits just keep on coming up there at the Sioux. So let's take a look at today's weather. Temperatures here stuck in the low to mid 20s during the day, a breezy day, and there may be an occasional snow shower, but it will be rather light. Skies should become partly cloudy overnight once again. Humidity is not terribly high, and winds are going to be out of the northwest to west at 15 to 20 miles an hour during the day. It'll be a little bit on the breezy side, especially at Lake Michigan. So let's take a look at some high temperatures here for Sunday. I think we're back to the low 30s in Grand Rapids. Cool weather off to the east. You can see temperatures on the cold side where that, especially where the dark blue is there in New York State. Green is pretty close to average. We're a little bit below that here. And it's really warming up in the plain states once again as temperatures soar back up into the 50s and even a couple of 60s showing up there. Move ahead to Monday, and the warmer air gets back toward Grand Rapids. You can see we're at 41 for a high temperature here, and mild air out through the plain states. So we can look for a rather quick warm-up by Tuesday. Temperatures here are going to be back up into the upper 40s. Tuesday and Wednesday, expect some rain. Again, today may be a few snow showers, but Sunday and Monday look to be dry. Today may be the coldest day we will see until next winter. So if you like it cold, get out there. It should be a pretty good day to be doing winter sports if you're into the ski resorts, using the snowboard or something like that. Good weekend for that coming up. And not too many more weekends ahead that you can enjoy that. So if you're into that, I want to get out there and do that. So one more thing to pass along here, severe weather next Tuesday. We're getting into the severe weather season here in March, especially in the southern United States. This is the day 4 outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, and that orangish color is an enhanced risk of severe thunderstorms, and that would include possible tornadoes from Louisiana up to about the southern tip of Illinois. The slight risk area there in yellow would include Evansville, Indiana, over to around St. Louis. So it gets a little closer. We don't anticipate anything like that coming in our area. And the latest long-range outlook finally brings us into that second tier red. I don't think we were in that the entire month of February. But just looking at that, this is from March 8th through the 14th. I would assume that during that period, March 8th to 14, we will see our at least one day in the 60s. So if you're waiting for some warm weather, that is indeed on the way. So, Michelle, you've got some interesting information for us about a lunar eclipse coming up.
All right, let's try that again. All right, hey everybody, let's see what we've got to talk about today. There is a blood moon lunar eclipse coming up March 13 and 14. So what does that mean? What is a lunar eclipse? It's when the moon is in the Earth's shadow, so it's dark. And it's going to last just a little bit over an hour. It will be overnight in Michigan. And why is it called a blood moon? Because a little bit of the light from the sun refracts around the Earth and scatters on particles in the atmosphere, and it gives the moon a reddish tint. So I'm really looking forward to that, and hopefully we'll be able to see it. Dad,
Yeah,
have
I'm
you
going
ever
to stay
seen
up.
one?
Oh, sure. Yeah, they're more common than solar eclipses, and the moon doesn't totally disappear. I mean, you're still going to see the moon. It's just going to turn a little bit dimmer and reddish here. But yeah, that should be neat. And we've been so cloudy of late. You know, we have this 5 planets all together here, and I didn't really hype that overnight because it was going to be cloudy here. So no
I
point in
see.
talking much about that. Yeah.
All right, lots of historical events. March 1, there was a long list to choose from. In 1781, we got the Articles of Confederation ratified, which was the first Constitution of the United States. Later, lawmakers decided that that was inadequate, and they gave us the U.S. Constitution that we have now. But we got our start on March 1 with the Articles of Confederation.
And we also
1931.
got our Bill of Rights. We
Yes.
also got the Bill of Rights, too, to add the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. Yeah, go ahead.
The Lindbergh baby was kidnapped on this day in 1931. Charles Lindbergh, a U.S. aviator, and he was famous for being the first nonstop flight from New York City to Paris. And his child was kidnapped at 20 months old, and the person was caught and they were executed. In 1961, the Peace Corps was established. And in 1977, on March 1, they were called Visa cards for the first time. And that name was chosen because Visa sounds the same in many languages. So
Hasn't that changed the world to have credit cards?
Yeah, for sure. I'm old enough to remember traveler's checks.
Oh, yeah. I used to get traveler's checks all the time. In fact,
Mhm.
for a while, they were free at Old Kent Bank if you had an account there.
Yeah, and it's made international travel so much more convenient.
Mhm.
Yep, I
And you get
remember my
the,
first trip to Europe going to the bank to get $50 worth of every currency for every country I was going to. And now we have the euro and we have Visa cards.
yeah, it makes a difference.
Okay,
That's a
this is
pretty
the fun
shot.
one. March 1, plan a solo vacation day. So this is one of my solo vacations. This was my, well, I don't think first because I did a little bus trip to Tijuana before that, but I'm not sure that counts. So this is my second or first, depending on how you count it, solo vacation. This was to Grand Cayman, and I just went for the night and went and sat on the water and had lunch, and it was a good time. So vacation, a Latin word to take a break from service and labor. So March 1, plan a solo vacation day.
I haven't
And
really
this-
had solo vacations. I've always gone with somebody for the most part. The only thing I can remember is when I first came to Grand Rapids and I was single and didn't really know anybody here in town. I'm an Eagle Scout, so I would take my tent and my sleeping bag and go to one of the state parks and camp out overnight for a night. I would go to Van
I
Buren
vaguely
State Park or,
recall a story of you hiking 10 miles somewhere out west and mom not knowing where you were and being on some trail that was
oh,
closed and it being a whole
yes,
thing.
that is true. That was a day hike, and that was just a little bit west of Rocky Mountain National Park. I had hiked up. I was on a trail that was 9 miles long, and I got about halfway up this mountain, and there was a bridge up there that had washed out during the winter, and I couldn't get across it. So I go, what am I going to do? So I just kept hiking up the mountain higher and higher and higher until I found a log across the creek where I could walk across that. And I got to the other side, and then I had to crawl down. And by the time I got back to the main road, it was pretty much dark. And I remember talking to a ranger afterwards to tell him that the bridge had washed out. And he said, "Oh, you were right where all the wolves were." And I was like, "Well, I'm glad I didn't know that." But that was something else.
Was
San
mom pretty
Francisco.
mad?
Oh, no, 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 no. No, she knows me.
So
And
this
like
was
I said, I'm
another
an Eagle
solo
Scout.
trip.
I can put three trees in a row and hike in a straight line. And as the stars were coming out, I could reorient myself to where north
How old
was.
were
And I
you?
got out okay. How old I have been there? I would have been in my 40s, maybe.
Oh, okay.
I was an adult.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
so this was another solo trip. This was San Francisco. My last year of law school, I lucked out and I only had classes Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So I did this over a weekend. I flew there myself. I stayed in a hostel. It was terrific fun. And I got this picture. And I have a picture of me in the same spot, maybe about 10 years later, maybe 15.
Hmm.
But yeah, San Francisco, one of my favorite places, just lovely. Okay,
The
so
day I
these
was at
things,
last day I was at the bridge, it was incredibly windy. We were getting gusts over 40 miles an
yeah,
hour.
yeah.
I was on the north side in Marin County there, and it was nasty
When were
day.
you there?
It was in June, and it was freezing cold
How many years
with the
ago?
wind coming in off the ocean. It was really not a good day.
How many years ago were you there?
19 boy 78 maybe
Oh, okay.
before
I
you
wasn't
kids were
even
born.
alive in 1978.
That's right.
Okay, so solo travel tips. You really, really don't want to lose your travel documents. So never ever, traveling solo or not, Put your documents in the seat back. I used to clean the airplanes, and I found so many. We still do so many in the lost and found. Take the extra minute to put them down in your backpack or your purse or wherever you're keeping those things so you can't leave them on the plane. Be in by dark. On the San Francisco trip, I made sure that I was back in the hostel by dark, and I think that really helps. I don't know, it made me feel better, probably for safety as well. I skip the alcohol and uncovered drinks when I'm traveling alone. Pack light because you've got to carry all your stuff. Have good walking shoes. Stay hydrated.
We got a vacation coming up here this summer. Gail and I will be with holiday vacations. You may have seen the spots on TV. We'll be taking a group from Grand Rapids out to Calgary in Alberta, and then up to Banff, Lake Louise, and Jasper, and then by train over to Vancouver, and then out to Vancouver Island to Victoria and the Bouchard Gardens there. It should be a great trip. It is July 19th through the 28th, and you can check it out by going to holidayvacations.com. You get $100 off if you go through and take a look at their videos. So, do
and
that,
I
check
didn't
it
mean
out.
to make this a commercial, but it just fit too perfectly. So if you don't want to travel with a group, that's a fully guided tour. It sounds amazing. Planes, trains.
Oh, it is. Well, I've been on two of them, and
automobiles.
they've been awesome. We went to Alaska 2 years ago, and then last year we went to the Northern Rockies and went to Glacier, Yellowstone, and down into Utah.
Yeah, you're getting
Great
to
trip.
be a pretty savvy traveler now.
Yeah, all 50 states and 7 foreign countries for me.
So everyone's going to get this one. Dad, where were we?
That was great. That was Las Vegas, and we had a great time there, didn't we? We walked over there amongst all of the traffic whizzing by us, but we walked the strip there from one end to the other. It wasn't what you said. We went 8 miles or 9 miles or something like that.
Like that. All we did was walk
Yeah.
around, which is my favorite thing to do when we travel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's really an
no
amazing
shows
place.
or anything. We just walked. There's so much to see.
Here's a trivia question for you. How many people were living in Las Vegas in the year 1900? There was actually a census that showed how many people lived in Las Vegas in 1900.
3,000?
25. That's
Oh,
all.
wow.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
So if you're watching
All
the
right.
video to the end, you get that tidbit factoid for you there.
We'll have to do one on the history of Las Vegas some other time.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see
Pretty
if I can
amazing.
get a kitty over here. I brought my kitty treats. Oh, there's one. Rosie, come here. Come here, sweetie.
Michelle has 2 cats, by the way.
Come on.
I have 3, but we're not allowing them in the basement because we're doing construction down
Come on,
here right
sweetie.
now. Once we clean it
Jump
up,
on
I'll
up. Big jump.
do it.
She doesn't want to jump. Come on, sweetie. Good girl.
Rosie is the.
That's a good jump. All right, there we go.
There you go.
Hi. Say hi.
That was my mother's cat. How old is Rosie? Do you have any idea?
8 maybe?
Yeah, 8, 9. It's
We've
a
had her
mature
for-
cat, no doubt.
Yeah, several years. Grandma gave up
Yeah.
housekeeping when she was 98 and didn't think the cat would like the lifestyle in the apartments in the senior home. So that's how we got Rosie. And
Yep.
she's
And
so
I
happy
drove
to
down
have
with Mom to
great
get it.
girl. Yeah.
She was so good in the car coming up.
Yeah.
We drove from Oak Ridge to Traverse. We just drove here to Grand Rapids. You drove down from Traverse City.
Yeah.
Yeah. Neat cat.
Yeah, and we're so happy you're in our family.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, and we'll introduce Ollie some other day.
Mhm.
So I won't be able to do these shows with you every night. I start the airport again tomorrow.
Okay.
So that'll be fun for a couple of days.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. Have yourself a good time down there. Watch out next Tuesday because you'll be in the slight risk area for severe weather.
Okay. Well, okay.
All right.
Good
Have a
night,
good weekend,
everybody.
everybody.